On the doorstep of 2022, we are here and we want to thank you. Stay tuned.
I'm the ringleader, so listen up.
Good morning.
Woo! We made it.
2022, Happy New Year.
We made it. We made it. Oh my goodness me. It was like running
Wow.
a marathon in slow motion. And everyone's getting to
What
the
a
finish
year.
line like collapsing at the finish line.
It just went like this. It just went like this. It was like,
Yeah.
the whole year. So like you couldn't dream or imagine a year like this year.
No, it's been crazy. And I feel like we were so it was my 50th back in November. For anyone that didn't see it, like all over social media, every friend that was there tagged me. So there was lots of great pickies on social media. What an awesome night. Over 100 people.
50's big.
All in one room. And we still had COVID restrictions, didn't we, Mark, for that one? That was a tricky one.
No one got COVID. Now they would get COVID.
No one would come. So
No, that's right.
Then, just 5 weeks ago that we were partying in one room, all of us together. And everyone was like, first party, we're out of this, woohoo. And now I feel like we've all just like smacked against a brick wall.
I think it was 12,000 people yesterday.
Yeah. Anyway, we're not going to talk about COVID. We're not here to talk about COVID.
No.
We're here to say thank you to you guys. That's what we're here to do.
Yes.
Everyone's sick to death of COVID. And tonight is New Year's Eve. Can you believe? How the hell did that happen?
I can't believe it.
How did that happen?
I can't believe it. I can't believe it. I cannot believe it.
Yeah.
So it's 2021 is over, and 2022. What's your New Year's resolution?
So I'm not a huge one for New Year's resolutions, because
That's boring.
I think it's much like, Mark, when people say to you, so how do you find the perfect balance? And people go, well, I exercise and I eat clean food and, I get up at 5 a.m. And the reality is you've just got to do whatever is sustainable for you, and what makes you feel great. That's the truth. And Mark, you and I are really good at living by that ethos for most. Certainly our life is not a white picket fence, that's for sure. But we certainly do try to live by that ethos, don't we? As in,
Yep.
If we do this, will it matter in 10 years? You're really good at doing that. So the New Year's resolution is just to make sure that you are doing things every day that you love and that you feel passionately about. That's the New Year's resolution, but it's one that continues 365 days of the year.
And that's been a big one for a lot of people. A lot of people have sought out a better life in the last 2 years through COVID. So inhibitions or things that they've wanted to get done, wanted to do, they're like, let's just get this done. Let's just do this. It's pretty incredible. It's pretty incredible.
It is. And you know what? COVID sucks. And it's been really hard for everybody the last couple of years.
Yeah.
I tell you what, it's just, there's been times when it's really pushed us to our limits, Mark, with, certainly when it all first started with the business and we were like, well, what do we do? And you've got 50 people going, what do we do? What do we do? What do we do? And then you've got 3,000 landlords going, what do we do? What do we do? What do we do? And it was like, well, I don't know. We haven't been through this before. But, we did a really great job. We continue to do a really great job. We, there's that saying where, the pilot should fly the plane, not the passengers. And so you did a great job, Mark, of making sure that, we stuck to just listening to one person and one person only, and that was the government, and not listening to all the Chinese whispers. So I want to say first of all, let's start off by saying thank you to you. And I know that sounds cliche because you are my husband.
Jesus.
I almost fell over. But, but Mark, seriously, you did a great job leading everyone, leading our landlords, leading our clients, leading our crew, leading our staff. So the first thank you goes to you, Mr. Novak.
Yeah, you know what was interesting in those times, and this is particularly COVID-1. There was everyone was just had an opinion in our team, landlords and things like that. But we really went back to our core. And when we went back to our core, what our core was protect the assets of our
Yeah.
clients. So we look after a lot of rentals properties for landlords. We look after a lot of tenants. We look after a lot of commercial sales, residential sales. And it was really, you know what? We're here to do the best. We're, irrelevant to the environment, the timing, to what's happening. We're here to do the best for these guys, protect the asset. And I do know that a lot of people weren't clear on that goal, and I found it crystallised our team and our business, and I even get that comment now from landlords and also staff that people have that comfort in. We're in good stead. So no, it was interesting. It was really interesting
And
for that to
I
be
have to say,
those decisions to be forced on us.
I have to say, like yesterday, Mark, we were writing the end of month letter to our landlords.
Yeah,
That goes
we
out
should
with end of
publish
month
that.
state. What's it? Yeah, and
Yeah,
actually, like writing that with you really made me think about a whole lot of things. And the reality was, there were days there where we didn't really want to turn up. We had our kids at home going, well, we're scared. We don't want you guys going in. We don't want you getting sick. They were at home. We're like, shit, what do we do? Do we leave them? Do we, we've got to go into work. We've got to open the doors for these people. We've got to help the
yeah,
staff. We've got to help the landlords, and we were sort of
we were
pinned still at a
stretched.
post.
Yeah,
Right. And
everyone
that
was
was in the very,
stretched.
we were. And that was in the very early days when we just did not know what the hell was going on. People didn't know what COVID
Yep.
was. No one knew what was happening. We weren't vaxxed. And, it was, they were very, very scary times. But I think the next thank you, Mark, has got to go to our customers. And again, I know these things, guys, might sound very, very cliche, but we're going to try and break it down for you as much as we possibly can. Mark, do you want to start with our landlords?
Yeah, thank you so much for sticking by us in as we stuck by you in tough times, and these guys are incredible. So a lot of our landlords, like, what do we do? Like, tenants were asking for rent relief, and landlords were quite lost. It's amazing in this moment of weakness how many landlords lost their shit, where they just completely relied on our advice. And thank you for trusting us, because we pulled through the other end. The damage control wasn't that bad, and it was a good circumstance. So thanks to our amazing landlords out there,
Yeah.
and they keep referring us to friends and families, and they're just amazing bunch of people. Some of our landlords have been with us for almost 20 years now, Lise.
It's unbelievable.
Like, it's an amazing loyalty, and
It's
thank you.
unbelievable. And for anyone who
And
is watching,
staff, yeah,
absolutely, we're 100% going to get to the staff. But for anyone who is watching, guys, we manage over 1,500 properties. So there's some 3,000 landlords there. That's a lot of people to manage. Big responsibility on our shoulders, and that sort of stuff doesn't happen by luck. That's been huge amounts of referrals. We have some of the best property managers in the country, without question. We're going to get to that in a sec. But these landlords,
and it's official.
But Mark, the fact that the landlords have trusted us, particularly through COVID, when it was uncharted waters, and we were honest about that. We said, guys, we don't know, but what we're going to do is we're going to be here for you, and we're going to give it our best shot. And we're going to turn up. We weren't working from home answering our phones, and
No.
and we're certainly not slandering anyone that did. Please don't take it like that. But we did.
You do you. Everyone did the best they could. Absolutely.
Without a doubt. Now, vendors, who obviously fall under the umbrella of clients and customers. So vendors, also really, really trying times for these guys. The market's been down. The market, so if we rewind a couple of years ago, I think actually it could have been 12 months ago. My goodness, I feel like it's 2 years ago. The market was plummeting. the market plummeted, and it plummeted hard in the depths of COVID. And the news and all the media outlets were indicating that the market was going to drop by as much as 30 to 40%. And
Do you remember that? Even 50%? Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mark, do you remember we sat around the table in the sales meeting and we were talking about how much it's going to go down? And then a few sales meetings later, we talked about how much it was going to go up. We were taking bets.
It went bananas. Look at Luke's comment this morning. Good morning, Luke, and thanks. You've been amazing this year.
Yes.
Imagine if they sold at the start of COVID, impatient people.
Yeah.
Just imagine.
Yeah. I mean, you know,
And
the
part
thing was,
of protecting people's assets is that advice.
Absolutely. You know, and I have to say, like, we were great at giving the advice. There was information overload from the media outlets, and if people typed in, should I sell my property now during COVID, God knows what you would find. So we were breaking it down for everyone on our social media channels. But thank you to our vendors. I want to say a special thank you to my vendors, who I always end up becoming great friends with. They're, you know, always just so trusting of me. And I want to give a huge shout out to my vendors. Absolutely love you guys. Thank you for trusting me, us, our agency with your biggest asset. It's a huge responsibility. And there's a lot of agents out there. There's 575 of us just on the beaches alone. So I personally want to say a huge thank you from me and us at Novak.
That's right. That's selling agents is 550 on the Northern Beaches. The amazing crew at Novak. So our team, and I do have to say, the team, people were just amazing in our team. So we've got a team of 40, 45 strong in our office.
Yeah.
They were challenged. Like, you know, everyone didn't know where to turn, and these guys believed in the cause. You know, protecting our clients in those hardest times of COVID. So thank you so much to the team. And you know, they communicated really, really well with tenants, with landlords. They stayed strong. And again, in these times, through the last year of COVID, you know, there's a lot of moments of weaknesses where people could potentially sell their property, people could potentially give away the asset or take a hit. But the team members of Novak, these guys were strong for our clients, and well done to those guys and in unsure times.
Yeah, absolutely. And Mark, during COVID, we called the property management area the help room, because these guys were getting up to 400 or 500 emails a day during COVID. Everyone was looking for rental rebates and rental reductions and landlords, and you know what these guys copped during COVID and still continue to. I tell you what, most people wouldn't sign up to it. You know, I know that everyone certainly talks about nurses and doctors being frontline workers, and without
they were punching bags.
But I tell you what,
they were
these
punching
guys
bags.
don't fall too far behind.
They were punching bags. You know, so particularly the property management guys, the leasing guys, it got really hard, and well done to those guys this year. You know, another Luke's just brought up a great one that I think is really important. Really, really important, and the community does an amazing job at supporting these guys, and we can always do better. It's the frontline workers, the emergency service. These guys were tested with droughts, they were tested with floods, they were tested with fires, they were tested with storms, they were tested with COVID, and hats off to all the emergency service people in New South Wales for 2021. You guys were bloody incredible. And I know we're very quick to have a go at the government, but you know, these guys are an extension of the mandates, and they were just, you know, from ambulance workers to police officers to SE. We saw the SES the last couple of weeks on the Northern Beaches.
Yeah, which is what I wanted to talk about, was the recent mini tornado we had through the Northern Beaches that lasted for 3.5 minutes.
What more? What more?
It was, I know, it was a couple of weeks ago. Like, never, ever has the Northern Beaches seen anything like this. We don't even have that sort of weather pattern here in New South Wales. But it ripped through the Northern Beaches, ripped off roofs. We had a huge air conditioning duct, massive big metal thing came flying towards our office. There was a huge amount of carnage and debris. A couple of our staff members, their houses got completely crushed. Their cars got crushed. Unbelievable. We actually went for a drive around with a chainsaw, Mark, didn't we? We chucked some of the team in the car and said, let's go out, let's get on the streets and see what we can do to help. But the SES were there well and truly before us, and that was at 9 in the morning.
They came from all parts of Sydney. They came from all parts of Sydney. SES, wherever. I was reading Campbelltown SES, Thitherton SES, all different parts of Sydney. They came to help. I think they volunteer as well.
I think they do. And you know what? I can tell you now, guys, by 2 o'clock in the afternoon, the place was cleaned up. Like the efforts that went into that were phenomenal. The community, that Northern Beaches community, those guys are unbelievable. Honestly, you could see all the neighbours like helping each other. And so a huge thank you to the emergency service workers, the SES guys, and also to our Northern Beaches community, who are just a continual source of support. Not just to us, but to each other. You know, it's quite incredible how everyone wants to shop local, to support, you know, the local stores throughout COVID, and, you know, incredible. What an amazing, amazing community. For those of you guys that don't know a whole lot about the Northern Beaches, of course, it's a very big part of Sydney. And but I tell you what, it's got such a town-like community, Mark, about it, doesn't it?
Yep. It does. It's a big catchment. People don't realise some 100,000 homes, 110,000 homes on the beaches. Eastern suburbs has 30,000, for example. So it's a very, very big catchment, the Northern Beaches. So amazing people. A lot of people have flocked to the Northern Beaches in 2021, and I think they'll continue to do that in 2022 with less necessity to go into the CBD for work. So, interesting times, guys.
Agreed.
Thank you.
What about thank you to our social media audience? So our social
What about thank you to Lisa Novak?
I thought we'll save that till last.
What about thank you to Lisa Novak? So, Lisa, you've changed the face of the industry with social media, so much so you've been asked to speak in front of 5,000 real estate agents on a certain conference about social media. So the face definitely has matured in 2021 on social media, whereas in 2020,
does he mean I've got more wrinkles because I turned 50?
I was waiting for you to say that. In 2019, it was, is this really a thing? In 2022, it's like, oh, I think social media's, and you are holding that baby, and you've nursed that social media baby incredibly well. So congratulations to you.
Thank you.
And your clients have benefited from it. You have benefited. Novak has benefited. Everyone has benefited. It's been an amazing journey to watch.
Thank you. Thank you, Mark. I appreciate that. Is that a good
That's a show.
Oh, that's it?
That's a show.
That's the show. But, guys, I think lastly, we want to say thank you to you guys for supporting us with our social media. We often say first they laughed and then they copied, and that's absolutely fine. We love that. But the reality is, you know, we're here. We turn up for you guys. Mark, you do it every day. Every day at 7:45, you come up with different.
Well, how was your face? How was your face this morning when I told you we're going to do this show? You're like, what?
I was like,
it's 7:45. 7:45, and you're like, oh.
I actually forgot it was Friday. That's the truth. I was like, wait, what? But you know, it's a big thing, Mark, for you to turn up every day. And of course, you were doing it with Burge. Which was great because you guys had your mojo going on with Michael Burgio. And then, of course, Burge left us after 9 years, I think it was. But, you know, every day you've got these young rock stars that come on the show with you, absolute legends. It's not easy, guys, to get up and find the content and get in front of a camera every day. But you do it, and you do it with Sam and Charlie, and we had young Zach on there, and we've got Billy, my new assistant, and Glenn and Stebbs, and so many in the property managers, and, you know, getting on there and turning up. But we do it for you guys, and we hope it helps you. We try to break things down into little bite-sized nuggets for you.
It's not easy content to find. You know, to get national news, that's easy, but to get localized real estate property news is almost regular on a regular basis is impossible. So it's just doing our bit for our customers.
But without these guys watching, I guess we wouldn't do it. It wouldn't push us to get up and do it every day. And we do go through and read all the comments, every single comment, every bit of social media we do ourselves. There's no robots involved, and
No,
every single
that's for sure.
comment and like is you know, we do that ourselves as well. If you guys are good enough to watch and you're good enough to put in the comments, then we'll be good enough to spare the time to, you know, sit down and answer that, and continue to help the industry and the community. We truly hope that's what we do here. So I guess
And we
on
just
that
got to
note,
we just got a compliment on Billy saying he speaks well from Luke, and that's
isn't
Billy
he
that does
lovely?
Mondays and Tuesdays. He's a weapon. He's
He
a
is the best.
weapon.
3
Keep an
weeks.
eye out on Billy.
3 weeks in my team, Mark, and I tell you what, Michael Silich and I are thoroughly impressed. He's been
Yeah.
amazing. I don't think the guys left the office before 7:30 every night. And I had something urgent that needed to get done last night quite late. And he was like, I'm on it. I'm on it. Such a good boy, really young and enthusiastic. And yes, watch this space. Mark, can I just say one last final thank you to
This is
my
the longest
team?
show for this year, Lise. It's
That's
just
okay. It's
21
the grand
minutes.
finale. It's the grand finale.
Yeah.
Can I just say a huge thank you to my team? Michael Silich and I have worked together now for over 3 years. Absolute legend. We have never
Beautiful
had
man.
a single word between us. I hope
Beautiful
it's
man.
I really hope it's a business relationship that carries on forever. We're a phenomenal team. We love working together. I want to say a huge thank you to Michael. I want to say a big thank you to young Zach, who spread his wings and has decided to take another path. Zach, we adore you. 5 years with us. And to young Billy, and I've got 2 new assistants as well joining in February. So I just want to say a huge thank you to my team. You know, it's been a lot of hard work and could not do it without you guys. So big thank you. That's
Love
right.
ya. See ya. Bye.
Happy New Year.